Hey guys, welcome to That Game Show, the show that talks about all the stuff in the nerd world and all the stuff in between. I am your host, Chase Bunker. Joining me today, he is the half-Asian sensation. It's Curtis Coe.
Hello, everyone.
And one name to rule them all, it's Murph Murphy.
How's it going, guys?
And player 4 is not here, Daniel Clegg, because he didn't add credits to the machine in time. So, that's a nice little gaming pun. If you don't like it, it's a work in progress. Thank you guys very much for joining us, whether you're watching us on twitch.tv/KBHSpike or you're listening to us via podcast or watching us on YouTube. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Got lots to talk about, including Final Fantasy VII footage, some Overwatch stuff, and we'll overreact to Batman Superman in just a second. But first, if I seem a little bit rushed today, I have a good reason behind it, and that is because
what reason is it?
I had to work earlier today, and I normally don't work on Tuesdays anymore because I hate that I have to rush from work to get here, and I get frazzled. And when I pulled in, a Lamborghini pulled into my apartment complex. Mind you,
boy.
A Lamborghini that's lowered as well. So,
First
off, I'm wondering.
Going.
And so, at the first point, I ask myself, why is there a Lamborghini at this area? Because this isn't really a rich neighborhood. And I felt I was more pissed off because my apartment complex, I'm not kidding, to get to my apartment, it takes you go past 8 to 10 speed bumps. And oh good lord, how he or she is approaching the speed bump. It's and he'd pause or she at the top, and then just would slowly let it down. And had to do this 8 times. It took me 5 minutes to get from the opening gate of my apartment complex to get to my apartment. And I was at that point, it's you know what? This is why you can't have nice things, because you can't. Why would you take this? And of course, he had he or she, because equality, had to go the same distance as I did. So now this Lamborghini person thinks I'm stalking them, and also the fact that I have to sit behind him. I can't just go past him. My car's boom, boom, whatever, because F the police. I'm gonna do whatever I want over speed bumps, and it was just so frustrating and frazzling. Oh good lord. But it was the first time I ever saw Lamborghini.
Quick question. Question.
What's
Please
up?
tell me you heard the lovely scraping sound.
Oh, did I?
As it rolled over.
Because I just turned. I had to punch in my gate code because the person in front of me doesn't know the gate code, and my window's still down. And over the first speed bump, which you get right inside the gate, it's oh good lord. It was I'd rather listen to Nails on a Chalkboard or Nicki Minaj than listen to that again.
Hey, I like some Nicki Minaj.
No, you don't. Don't lie to yourself. Don't pander to that audience. Don't try to.
Okay, people who I'm as the older I get, the more I'm liking pop music. So that just means, old people, your pop music was crap.
I don't know how to take that, which granted, you're older than I am, so.
That's a funny thing, because I've noticed that too. I'm enjoying pop music a little bit more now than I did when I was younger. It's very strange to me, because I'm not.
I think pop music is just better. I think that's what it is.
I mean, let's watch the statement here, because pop music in the late 90s, early 2000s was good. And I think
Let's not lie to ourselves.
Bye Bye Bye, Thong Song,
Oh,
Livin' La Vida Loca. I want it that way.
Sugar Ray.
Sugar. Oh man, Sugar
none
Ray.
of those are good songs.
Sugar. You don't like a good Sugar
All
Ray?
of them are the
Old Murph man.
Oh,
was,
man.
Calling out 90s.
I know.
90s sucked, huh?
Yeah, honestly, the best thing. I mean, nobody had cell phones. The internet was slow. What? No, this 90s nostalgia is bullshit.
Oh,
Man, look at Murph here.
Murph showing his age. There it is.
I mean, 80s nostalgia is worse. But
'80s had
Now,
great
that might be
metal.
true. But anyways,
I'll at least throw the fact that
What?
'80s, like music-wise, like rock-wise, was incredible.
they did have Queen. That was the Queen era, wasn't it?
70s and
It's more
80s,
70s.
Was it?
Yeah.
but like late, like I think
Anyways,
in the '80s you had
sorry.
Queen. Anyways, all right, so let's do a new segment that, well, it's kind of new, even though we always do it a lot. It's called Let's Overreact. This week, it's the Batman
Right.
Superman trailer. Which, if you watched Jimmy Kimmel Live, you saw the unveiling of the new Batman Superman trailer, and also there was another like teaser clip on the internet as well.
Yep.
The trailer showed Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent having a nice little interaction. Oh, hey, there's Lex Luthor. Showed them fighting, and then Doomsday, Wonder Woman, end of trailer. That was pretty much it, and it's getting a little
hold
bit
on.
of an outcry for spoilers, which... Alright, so pretty much, guys, let's overreact. What do you guys think of the trailer right now? We'll start it off with Curtis.
You know, the more I watch it, the more comfortable I actually get with it. And now I know a lot of people are crying about spoilers. All right, but I think people are underestimating how well this movie has to do. Okay, this is a make or break movie for Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
They want you to know what you're getting when you walk in that front door, and I think in that aspect it is a really smart move to show more than less. In this case, we know what the villain is. We know that villain is ugly as heck. It doesn't look good, but we already know that going in. And I think that's the best thing they could have done. They said, well, you know, maybe we don't like this as well as we could have, but you know, at least let's go ahead and show people what it looks like, so they're not quite as freaking out when they go into the theater and give us like crazy bad reviews. They can still hate how it looks, but at least they knew it going in. I think it's actually a really smart move, and you know what? I actually am a little more excited for it after that trailer. I mean, not like Marvel excited, but I'm still like a little bit more willing to, I guess you could say, look over some of the more major flaws of the movie.
Murph?
So I guess I'm not really overacting.
So there were two trailers that came out this week, and one
Correct.
was Civil War, and the other, well, not this week, whatever. In this
In this
news, our news cycle, put it that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Good choice of words.
I think that this trailer is a better trailer.
I agree.
I'm less excited for this one though. But and I've got it on silent, and I'm kind of just rewatching it, and there was an ugly CG Batman. That was,
With like the
Yep.
the little
Yeah.
like him on the wall and like him like grappling hook. Yeah,
like
that's such a bad
that-
scene.
that's I mean,
It's an iconic scene, though. That's why they had it there, though.
right, but I mean, if you're gonna do CG, you got the money.
Yeah,
Do it
Correct.
like
a lot
that
of-
and
a lot
the
of
part
Batman
the
and
scene where he
chains.
Superman rips off the Batmobile doors, like that. You can obviously tell that like it's CG. And it's,
Yeah.
all right, continue.
Right, but
Go ahead, Murph.
no, like what is it? But I'm not so like, and I was having this conversation with my wife, and like we're gonna see the what is it? The event or Civil War
Yeah.
night of, but we didn't even see Superman, and we're kind of like, that's kind of how my excitement level.
It's not like Man of Steel
So,
wasn't
to
like
this day,
Man of
you
Steel was
haven't
good.
seen-
Haven't seen it. Like I don't really feel any like compulsion to see it.
I don't think it was a bad movie, but I don't think it was the Iron Man to the Marvel.
Right.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
that's
it
fair.
was-
That's fair.
That's what I'm getting at. Is it had its really good moments. There were some really good early moments. The part where he's like a waiter, and you know, with the truck, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a really good scene, really strong scene. And then they had some later scenes that I did not find.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think you'll be hard pressed to find someone who's not seen Avengers or at least some of the Avengers, I think you can still find a couple of people who haven't seen Superman.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
And here's weird. The weird thing is, the Batman movies, the Dark Knight movies, like that, I would put them at the same level as the Avengers.
Correct.
I'm not gonna put, even though this is a movie that has Batman in it. It's not a Batman movie.
I think it might be more of a Batman movie than you think it is.
I
I
could
don't know.
see it
I don't
being
know.
more of
It
a
is.
Batman movie. But
I think
bless
at the
you.
end, like I've seen every Batman movie from
Correct, but I
even the Clooney's.
truly believe this is actually from Batman's perspective. Batman is the main character, with Clark Kent being kind of a secondary main character. I think watching the movie, you will see this from more of Bruce Wayne's perspective because he's more relatable. In this instance, he's scared of an alien force taking over his planet.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm gonna like the first part of this movie better than the second part, because the Batman v Superman is obviously in like the first part, where they, like Batman's trying to like do the Whisper campaign and we're worried about Superman being a god. And then the second part of this movie is they fight explodey eyes.
So I actually had an interesting thought, and the first thing I thought when Doomsday jumped out is it wasn't Doomsday, it was Bizarro. Like, that was the first thing that struck me, is like, oh, well, he looks a little weird. I wonder if he's Bizarro, and that's how their take on him, and it's not Doomsday.
My first like real inclination is like, oh, Croc, and then like laser eyes. I was like, oh wait, no,
That's not Croc.
It's not Croc. Croc can't do that.
So, sorry. Chase, what did you think about the trailer?
Well, I like the trailer, and I think it did get me more excited. I love the interaction in that first sequence between Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne. Like,
Yes.
that is my Jared Leto moment for Suicide Squad. Like, this is like the sequence I can watch for 10 minutes, because it's literally like the no BS, like, I know who you are, you know who I are, but it's, I know what I said, by the way.
That's
and
like,
so...
No. I agree with you.
Yeah, and so like they pretty much just like had this. It immediately built up the tension. I thought like the CGI was a little bit poor, like that batarangs or the grappling hook scene. It's like ugh. I looked at it and like when people said, "Oh, it has major spoilers," and it's like it does, but at the same time it doesn't, because if you were following along, you immediately knew all these things. You immediately knew that, like, okay, Batman and Superman were going to fight, but then eventually they're going to team up. You knew that Doomsday was going to come in. You knew that Wonder Woman was going to come in. And so it's like, these aren't new things. So all they did was showed a little bit more stuff. It's like, they
I didn't know
didn't...
about Doomsday, to be honest.
It's been kind of circulating for a while that Doomsday was going to be in.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
some big bad was going to bring them together.
Yeah.
So we knew some big bad was going to bring them together, and Doomsday is actually, it's a credible threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew that was kind of going to happen. So it's like, it's one of those, like, even if you think about it, like, they did show a lot, but at the same time, like, they showed us stuff that we already knew. It's not like, oh, Civil War. What? I'm so surprised that Tony Stark and Captain America are fighting. And, like, they show us that fighting sequence against Iron Man. It's like, oh, that's a spoiler. It's like, no, we knew that was going to happen. So...
It has to happen.
And so, like, I feel like people, like, overreacted a little bit on that. But then again, it's called Let's Overreact. And so that's what me overreacting on other people saying spoilers. But I did get more excited for it. I'm definitely looking forward to it, but... You are absolutely right. Like, this is a make or break movie with this, because apparently Aquaman's going to be in this movie at some point. We don't know about that, which I think the less we know about that, the better. Flash is apparently supposed to be in this. Like, there's apparently supposed to be a lot of people in this.
Cyborg.
And so at that point, like, I don't mind not seeing the others. I at least saw Wonder Woman. She didn't talk, which, I mean, I kind of okay with that, because like I wanted to know how she got in more than what she sounds like. So. I like that. I like the little interaction of, she come with you? I thought she came with you. Or something, like, whoever said it. But either way, like,
yes,
it's still a good line. And you kind of know that, like, okay, it's called Batman
yeah.
Superman Dawn of Justice, because why? Justice League happens because of this.
Yeah.
So we
This
can't
is
be
the first
surprised.
of 3 Justice League movies, right?
Yeah.
Everyone can, like, I don't know that, but, like, come on, right?
Can we talk about how interesting that line is, though? Actually, the Wonder Woman line is like, "Is she with you?" No, I thought she was with you. I think that's actually really a good. I think that's a really strong note to hopefully that Wonder Woman is an independent character and she's not just brought in by one of them to fight the other one.
Just by having read some recent JLA reboots, like, it generally, that's how she's whatevered, right?
Correct, but that's just good. It's good.
Right.
It's good to see she's not just a random love interest.
Yeah.
Right. And what is it? I'm going to comment on the Wonder Woman costume. I like that you can tell it's still a classic Wonder Woman design, but it's not the American flag.
Correct.
The one-piece bathing suit.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Xena Warrior Princess.
It does.
A lot.
It does.
That's where you got to go, though, with that.
Yeah. But
unless you go with the flag, and I never understood the appeal of the American flag. Wonder like all right, comic book nerds, you really like, for people who care about like continuity and comics making sense. That was something that people seem to like just give a pass.
Do you think Linda Carter makes a cameo in this movie?
that would be cool. I'd be okay with this.
I'd
I'd
be
also
okay
be
with
okay
that.
if Christian Bale randomly just walked past the screen as well. That would be funny.
I just want Christian
No.
Bale to like read a newspaper, seeing the Batman, go, "What a freak," and then just like throws the newspaper away and walks away. That could be his entire line.
You know what I
and
want?
I'll take it. What do you want?
Him and,
You know what? I want George Clooney in the background, but I want them to turn up the air conditioning. And
Oh.
no!
So his nipples just through his shirt, and then Ben Affleck just says, "Hey, look cold in here, Clooney," and then just walks away.
I want.
That's my cameo. That's what I want.
I want a table of all the old Batmen just sitting there drinking coffee in the background.
Yeah.
That would be
that's an expensive table.
That is
It
an expensive
but
table.
It would be worth the price of admission.
I
Pretty
want
easily.
Jim Carrey to like read the newspaper and go, "Riddle me this: if Superman's an alien, where did he come from?" And that's his only line.
That would be good. I would dig all of these things. I mean, hey, it'll be a movie. We'll see if it's a good movie, right?
I hope it is, because it
hope
has
it is,
Zack
too.
Snyder. With
Yeah,
Zack
okay.
Snyder, he did great with 300. He for some reason made Legend of the Guardians, and then
Let's be clear.
Okay.
Let's be clear about 300. I'm not watching that for the story. In fact, all the talky bits were the worst part of that movie.
This is also true.
But I am also one of the few people who are like, look, we need a couple more action sequences in 300.
Okay, let's
That's because
be
they were
honest
so
for a
well
second.
done.
That 300 is probably like the most manliest movie like ever, but it also has like the most men with like the skimpiest clothing in it.
You know, I think that is part of being a man, and you've got to. If you're not comfortable with that, I think you're not a man.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Greeks. Come on now, the Spartans.
I just think that movie. Well, hold on. There's all sorts of weirdness with that. If you really want to get into the politics of that movie, it's like,
There's
Oh
some
no!
bad stuff, but
Speaking
we
of
won't get into
politics,
that.
somebody brought this up, and it's so true.
Yeah.
The movie Predator produced 2 governors.
it's very true.
Yeah. That's we got
And
Arnold and then Jesse Jackson?
Ventura.
and
Jesse Ventura, not
Jesse
Jesse
Ventura,
Jackson.
yeah.
Different person.
Sorry.
Whew.
Speaking of movies,
Yeah.
what was it? The director of Gods of Egypt came out and said that he was sorry for like the amount of white people that they hired. And then it's like
Yeah.
somebody mentioned there's this, and then somebody else mentioned Aloha, and I didn't know this because I think if I knew this, I wouldn't have bought that movie in the summer movie draft. Emma Stone, white,
Plays an Asian
red
woman.
hair, plays a Filipino woman. She's supposed to be
No.
She's
Filipino.
supposed to be half. She's supposed to be half.
No, she's.
Is she a full blood?
I think
thought she
she's
was
supposed to be
half
full,
Asian.
but like still.
Emma Stone is not half. Is
No,
not
no, no,
half
no, no.
in
Okay.
any way.
Really quickly, I want to share an anecdote with everybody since I am half Asian, and so this
Look,
is
you
Oh.
can't talk. Then you're only half.
No. I have cousins who are quarter Asian.
Yeah.
They look white. I'm gonna be
Okay.
mean. They look white. That's a really easy way to get around the issue. Say they're quarter Asian. You could probably get away with a lot of things. You say they're half Asian. They look something like me.
Right. I mean, and the idea is
I could
look,
make a
like,
joke, but
Asian
no, I
actors
don't wanna-
just don't get enough
That's fine.
representation in Hollywood and just in general. And here you're taking an explicitly Asian part and casting it as Emma Stone, Lily White, and Emma Stone.
Jackie Chan consists of
need,
half the Asian actors in America. Like, let's be real about this, and the other half is Jet Li.
Isn't Jackie? I mean, he's pushing 70, right?
Yeah, he's getting. No, he's in his 60s. I think
yeah.
he's like just starting on his 60s. I don't think he's quite in the 70s yet.
Whatever, he can't
I mean,
age because he's still got to
I
beat the
watched.
Shadow
So
Clan.
before I heard about all the whole gods of Egypt having white, before I seen the news articles, I watched the trailer, and man, those are some white people fighting.
Yeah. Those are some
I did
white people
notice it
fighting.
too, but you know what? That movie.
Nobody in that movie has a tan. Let me say that.
Yes, they do have the guy who plays what's his name? Jamie Lannister playing Horus, I believe. Is that correct?
I
Yeah.
don't. It's just there's crazy Dragon Ball Z guys jumping around.
Okay,
and
now let me
there's,
give
like,
you these.
snake people.
Let me give you these choices for the worst. We'll call it whitewashing. What is the worst? Dragon Ball
I already
Z,
know.
Prince of Persia, Gods of Egypt.
No, worse than that. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
Oh yeah. That's,
oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty- and the worst part is it was by an Asian
Yeah.
director.
Isn't I
It's
Shyamalan?
just like, yeah, he's Indian.
Oh,
Dude's
I think he said he was
Indian.
Asian. It's like, I'm
He
pretty
is.
sure he's
Yeah,
not.
and
It's
he's-
just technically part of. Anyway,
not technically is.
Yeah, I remember there
Some
was that
people
race
consider
issue,
Indian
and they were saying like,
Ugh.
oh, he's portraying
like-
like Indians as bad. It's like, wait, isn't he also Indian?
cast it that way. It's like, what
Yes.
were you thinking?
Oh boy.
It's like,
Man.
oh man, it's like almost the equivalent of, I don't know if you guys remember this skit from Saturday Night Live. It was with John, like it was supposed to be John McCain around the time when John McCain was facing Barack Obama, and they had the quote most sarcastic voiceover guy ever, and so they're like, one of the things was, Barack Obama wants to get universal health care. That's for the whole universe, including Osama bin Laden. Do we really want healthcare for Osama bin Laden? And John McCain's like, what is this? Like, well, he does technically want universal healthcare and for everybody. And they're like, oh, that is true. I'm John McCain and I approve this message. And then another one's like, well, what are we going to do now? It's like, well, we're just going to put just pictures of Michael Vick, Plexico Burress, like all these like black like famous people that are like they've been to jail, and it's like, wow, we're going there on this one. It's like they're just saying that he's he shares the same complexion. It's like that is also technically true. I'm John McCain and I approve this message. And that's what it just kind of sounded like with the whole like the Last Airbender, not Avatar, different movie, Last Airbender, which is apparently getting a sequel. That's getting a sequel.
He wants to do it.
No, Cameron. Yeah, no, Cameron. That was his vision was always a trilogy.
No.
Correct. He
No, Last
really
Airbender.
wants it.
Oh,
Yes.
well, that's not happening.
No.
Yeah, he really wants it, but Paramount is kind of holding it in front of his nose, kind of deal.
For what? What are they? What?
He
oh.
actually, what did he make? That one that was just recently about the grandparents.
The
That one
Visit.
actually did really well.
The Visit did well.
and it actually did pretty well, and it was by him.
I haven't
I'm
even
not saying
heard
it's a
of it.
good movie, but
Devil was
it's
actually
off-
pretty
off-
good.
off-
Like it was
Yeah.
decent. I call it
He
good.
got-
It's a mix between good and decent.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they're kind of saying, "Hey, you start making some decent movies, and maybe we'll think about getting the rights back."
But if a franchise needs a reboot, Like, that's one we need to do. Like that, we just need a do over.
Honestly, I don't think you can do it in live action. I don't think you should attempt it.
I don't think you should either.
I think you should just leave it. Leave us with our good stuff.
But like how like the amount of falling he did, because like he did like Sixth Sense and Unbreakable and Signs, like all three of those were just incredible. I liked Signs, I don't care. And
okay. I think the thing you'll notice is as you're naming those movies, they're getting kind of worse and worse.
yes,
like Sixth Sense
but
is the top.
Yes, but Unbreakable was good. It wasn't Sixth Sense, but it was still
then
good.
We got The Happening. Oh no, the
gosh.
tree.
Gosh, The Happening was awful.
No, we're not trying to kill you.
The Happening I was so
whoever-
excited for that movie, and I was just so
Monkeys
disappointed.
in the water. Oh.
That movie, though, to its credit, is a hilarious comedy. It is one of the funniest movies you will ever watch as a comedy.
I think
movie,
that's
yeah,
that's how we got the idea for The Visit.
I guess so. I don't understand.
Because it's a horror comedy, and he shot 3 versions of the film. One horror, one comedy, and then the hybrid, which came out in theaters.
I've not even heard of this movie.
Maybe he's like Sam Raimi, where he's just that's his thing. Like horror comedy is his.
Then have
thing.
him not touch Spider-Man. The third one.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along. Speaking of remakes, we got what we wanted finally in the Final Fantasy VII remake. We saw gameplay footage. Well, it was a lot.
Go on. Go ahead.
Oh gosh, we're gonna get this antagonist. All right, let's overreact because I have a feeling with Murph's reaction it's gonna be that way. We got a lot of gameplay footage. In fact, like shot for shot remakes of the actual Final Fantasy game in and of itself. You have voiceover acting, which is weird because I'm not used to hearing a voice come out of Cloud that's not from a Kingdom Hearts game, and all that stuff. But it looks incredible. I'm excited about this, and it's one of those reasons to get a PS4. Guys, what did you get? Wow, I can't speak because it's blown my mind. What did you think of it? We'll start off with Murph's thing.
So, have you heard the latest news where it's episodic?
Correct, I have.
I have not.
So it's episodic, which okay, I guess you're gonna if they're really gonna be redoing things, sure, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But like for me, like I've played this game, I've done everything that I've wanted to do with Final Fantasy VII. Like it looks good, but I like this game has been re-released twice now already.
It depends on what you mean by re-released.
Okay, well, so it was released on PlayStation, then it was released on PC, then it was released on PC again.
Which coincided with them re-releasing it on PS3 and all that jazz.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then now we're getting another remake. And like, to be fair, I want to say that like Final Fantasy VII is a historically important game.
Yes.
I do not. Let's see. I just don't. This product isn't for me, and like I'm sure there are some people who like this is what they wanted. But for me, like I don't think this game is going to age very well, just in terms of mechanics.
And I think that's fair. I mean, this is obviously running on the Final Fantasy 15 system from looks. I don't know if you've watched Final Fantasy 15 gameplay trailer, but
right. Well, are they? So no, I have. Are they actually doing combat in the Final Fantasy 15 style?
Correct. It looks almost identical to what they're
Really?
doing.
Okay, so I'm going to drop back my whatever then, because if there's new gameplay mechanics, maybe I'm in.
Because the thing I found interesting is they specifically said, hey, we are going to remake it, but at the same time, we are going to make it better. That was the whole idea here, is we're going to make it better.
Okay, so that's not just... See, I interpreted that as, we're just going to make it look different or better.
No, they said there's going to be changes. I mean, How much change is questionable, but I mean... you know, by the gameplay numbers, it looks like it's going to be pretty significant in terms of gameplay difference. It looks like Final Fantasy 15. They're using that engine.
But like you see, like in the openings, they shot for shot remake the opening sequence and everything, and they have like all the dialogue, and it looks incredible, and it sounds okay as well. Like, of course, like voice acting, it could get better as like they work on stuff. But since they're changing up the gameplay mechanics and doing all these changes to it, do you think you can save Aerith in the end?
It's going to be a microtransaction.
Don't you mean that you already could save Aerith, right? I mean, you had to get 100% and pluck the chicken 50 million times, and
Oh, buddy.
Because I think like what is it in the Japanese version you can, but in the American version you can't.
No, you can never. You can never save Aerith.
You could never save her.
Oh, okay, because I
Okay.
just remember hearing my friend Anthony, like he told me about that, and he was just like, "Dude, I cried at the end of that," and it's like, you don't cry for anything. Like he didn't cry during his children being born, but man, did he cry during the end of Final Fantasy VII.
Well, different experience, I guess.
I guess. We'll see, but I guess like maybe because I know the ending, I probably won't feel as emotional, but.
You might, though. I mean, you might be more invested. You know what I
Maybe.
mean? Because you're playing through the game.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So,
So,
I think
Man.
I'd give it a whirl. Like, it looks
Yeah.
interesting.
It does.
Just like Final Fantasy 15. I think Final Fantasy 15 looks really interesting, too. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy guy. This is where they're going to get guys like me who are a little more into action-adventure.
Yeah.
right, well,
Like the only one I played was 10, and I played a little bit of 7.
okay.
I played 13, and I hated it. So,
13's really bad. Like,
Yeah,
I can't,
that's what I've heard.
In no way can I recommend 13.
20-hour tutorial. That's where I stopped.
Is that like 13 is the one that has like 5 different sequels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of those sequels I've heard were pretty good. But
Well,
again,
in terms of mechanics, like, so I think that we hit peak Final Fantasy mechanics at like 10, and then I think it's just been a kind of a slow decline ever since.
didn't they try something new in 12? I think
They
did.
try something new every game,
Yeah.
Okay.
but they went from in 10 it was turn based, and then in 12 it was like quasi turn based, and then in 13
I hated that system. That system made no sense.
It's so bad, such a bad system.
Isn't it like Transformers as well or something? Like you can turn into a car.
There was something
No.
like it was kind of like a summon. You know how they
Okay.
do summons where you're like I don't remember. It was a horse and there was a car and
Shiva was a motorcycle. It was
yeah.
but like you didn't have control over your character. You just kind of like said use this plan, and then the game would
Correct.
play the battle out for you using that plan.
And it was very dry, and all the characters were very similar fighting styles, and that made it kind of. Anyways, without getting too much more
Yeah.
into it,
Is it
I
bad that,
did
like-
not care for the.
Is it bad that like when you mentioned a horse, immediately what came into my mind was the Bill Clinton comment of, "If it wasn't for my horse, I wouldn't have gone to college."
Wait, wasn't that
Bill- No, that's not.
That's not Bill Clinton.
That wasn't Bill Clinton.
that's-
I know Lewis Black
that's
made
Louis-
the joke, but
Lewis Black.
Well,
it
yeah.
wasn't about Bill Clinton though.
no, Bill Clinton said that though, and like Lewis Black like brought it up in a joke, I believe.
No.
It was about this woman he heard in a diner,
Yeah.
and then she left, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then he didn't think anything of it. And then hours later, he was like, "What?"
Look, I listened to a lot of Lewis Black in the aughts and 90s, so I know
Oh,
the
we're
aughts.
not- I hate that term. It's,
And what else are you gonna call it?
The
I don't
2000s.
care. It's just a bad term.
I like the aughts.
God, it sounds awful.
It's awful.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
Actually, I
You wanna
met
call
Lewis
it-
Black in Melbourne once, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, he was a really nice guy, but like he was very soft spoken at the time, and at the time like I was just starting to be a comedian, and I said, "Do you have any advice?" And he goes, "Try, fucking try, and if it doesn't work, you keep trying again." And like he was like, I think it's because he was saving his voice because he had to do the show over at the King Center that next day.
Right.
But it was still cool to
Yeah,
like
that's
meet
good
him.
advice.
Yeah, it is.
that's good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Keep on trying. It's like I can get that advice from
Keep
Lewis
on,
Black
keep
or
on.
Nike, one of those two. But all right.
keep on trying.
Yeah.
try.
All right. We'll get
I like
into
that, man. That was a good one. That was a good one.
See, I kept on trying.
yeah. We'll get into our final topic about Overwatch, but first, let's talk about games we've played. Murph, I understand you're playing a game right now, and it is
It's called Xenoblade Chronicles X,
nice.
and it is the offline MMO.
The offline MMO.
Good thing or a bad thing?
So it's
kind of-
Skyrim?
No, it's very much like WoW, vanilla WoW, if you will. So, like, imagine if you had like there's like some concessions to like, oh, this is a JRPG.
Mm-hmm.
There are just anime ladies all over the place. They have big anime eyes.
Right.
Things.
Eyes.
One of the characters is a 13-year-old mech genius.
Of course.
So, of course.
Do they have cat ears?
Yep, there's cat ears. There's annoying little sidekicks. Like this is and I'm not trying to be whatever, but this game is has Japanese considerations like throughout. Like there's mechs, there's monsters, there's really kind of cute, annoying thing.
Tentacles.
I don't understand. Yeah, no tentacles so far, thank God. But yeah, the combat is very much vanilla WoW in that you have your auto attack, and if you just auto attack, you're going to lose. But you have your special powers, and then they combo. Like so, if you hit something, it knocks it down, and then that there's another skill that does more damage when you knock stuff down, and then also your party members are constantly applying like status effects as well. So you have to pay attention that way, and then positioning matters. But there's a lot of like grinding, and also a lot of kind of collect things, and very much running past. So there's like a level 40 monster right next to my level 10 monster, and you need to be able to run past that level 40 monster and not aggro it if you want to get to like the next area, which has where you actually want to be.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it so far.
All right.
Story. I mean, I guess my question is because one of the things I hate about Japanese games, and I'm going to be that guy. So
Okay, go
before
for
we
it.
say that, I'm going to be that guy. Can you turn on Japanese dialogue instead of English dialogue? Because a lot of times English voice acting in Japanese games is like possibly the worst things ever.
I haven't looked. I don't think you can. They haven't made it really prominent.
Okay.
The voice acting is pretty bad.
That's why I'm wondering if there is an option to turn on like Japanese dialogue with subtitles.
No, so yeah, subs not dubs. That's right.
Yeah.
That's how we roll. But
Like,
but the story is not the most important part.
okay.
Like it's there. Like, would you be surprised if like the story is you crashed into an alien planet after Earth was destroyed? Other aliens are after you. Like it's not
Generic.
Yeah, it's like
Gotcha.
ugh, there's robots, there's dinosaurs. I mean, this is also like an incredibly pretty game.
Did you play the first Xenoblade Chronicles?
No.
Okay.
Or any of the other ones.
The sense of scale is incredible. In that, like, so there's the little like human-sized monsters running around, but there's also the Jurassic Park Brontosaurus
Oh, wow.
like, size stuff, and they are that big, and they're like just ignoring you and like going down to get a drink of water, and you can like literally climb a cliff and be at like head level with the like just a giant mountain, and you're just like, oh, there's that guy right there, like there's his head. It's really like it does scale incredibly well.
That's awesome. That sounds fantastic.
And if I can just take another for a game that's not a video game but is a game, I got to play Pandemic Legacy.
That is fantastic.
Yes, we got about halfway through. We played about 10 hours of it, and if that'll tell you something about a board game.
Yep.
For you who don't know, the Legacy games are so Pandemic is a game where you fight like disease. You're the CDC. You're fighting against the board. Legacy is you have to like you put stickers on the board game. So if like a city riots, the next time you play a game, that city is still rioting. Or you have to like rip up cards because like, oh no, this cure no longer works. So rip. And there's like packages of like tokens that you like open after you've played so many games, and there's like this ongoing story as well. Like the presentation is utterly fantastic.
All right.
It's a pretty fantastic game in general.
All right. Curtis.
Right now I'm playing Fallout 4, of course. And I'm also playing a game called Dungeon of the Endless. This was a game, some of you might remember this as being a free game from one of the Steam weekends quite a while ago, probably about 3 to 4 months, maybe even longer. I can't exactly remember. It was a game that you could try out over Steam weekend. It was on sale during the latest Steam sale, and I bought it up because I really enjoyed it. It is a cross between, the best way to describe it is it's somewhere between a tower defense and a kind of a group RPG, I guess you could say.
Okay.
You can play it with multiple people. I would suggest playing it with no more than another friend. I think you can play up to 4. I don't think it's worth playing more than one with one other person. Just because things get out of hand, resources get so everywhere. The point of the game is basically your ship crash lands on this planet, and you're trying to work your way through all the different levels and get out of the ship. It is really fun. There's reasons to replay it. There's a lot of stuff going on in it. A lot of heroes to unlock. A lot of really fun things to do in it. It has that kind of old pixel style to it.
Okay.
Yeah, very retro.
Very retro, but very fun. And it's only about $12. With all the DLC, I think it's like 20. So it's definitely worth a pickup.
Do you think I would like this?
They do.
I think you would like it. It is. I think you would enjoy it. It's one of those things that you pick up every once in a while. It's not something that you're going to progressively play for the rest of your life. But once in a while, you'll be like, you know what? I have like 20 minutes. Let me sit down and play like a floor of this.
Okay.
Floor or 2 of this. So.
All right.
They do. All their games are like named Endless, right? Because there's like Endless
Correct.
Space and Endless Legend.
That's their thing. Like they add Endless. It's their brand, so to speak.
All right.
Chase, what are you playing?
Thank you for asking. I like how I make like one like rant and everybody just catches on.
Come on.
Man, I'm coughing like crazy. I just beat BioShock 2 last night, and so I was able to finally beat all the BioShocks, not including, of course, System Shock or anything, but I was able to at least beat BioShock 1 and 2. I haven't tried the DLC yet for 2, Minerva's Den.
Okay.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, it's by the people who did Gone Home.
Is it really?
It is.
Is it? Like,
Oh no.
oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. Well, it's not like it's gone home, so I'm not going to judge it just yet. Like, it's still.
I think it is. I think it's BioShock Gone Home edition. Actually, is how it's described.
Is it really?
I think there's some shooting in it, but like, yeah. I think
Okay, there's at least more
it's
action than
mostly-
there was in Gone Home.
I think it's mostly praised for its environmental storytelling.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, if I find out, like, you're making this up... Curtis, look that up for me real quick.
What is it? What is it?
Minerva's Den.
Minerva's Den.
Yeah.
Are we asking who made it? Is that what the?
And add Gone Home in there because I think it'll probably get a good hit on that Google search.
Yeah.
So while he's looking that up, what ending did you choose?
I got the
Gone
good
Home.
ending,
Why?
where you have points where, of course, you could either spare or harvest little sisters. I chose to save them because I'm a relatively decent person. I spared everybody, even though I shouldn't have. Like, there's probably like at least a good 2 people I could have killed because, like, one of them said, "Hey, please kill me," no matter what the other person, whatever this robot says, and the robot's like, "Don't kill me." It's like, all right, I'll take it. And so I spared everybody, also because I wanted the achievement, and I got the good ending. And I thought as an ending, like, it was good, but I think like the problem with BioShock 2 is that like you've played it, right, Murph?
I've not played all of it, but I know enough about it.
I feel like it's one of those that like it's a good game, but it wasn't really needed. Like it's like also the main problem was that it kept crashing. Like for some reason, and this happened with a lot of people as well, where it would the DirectX would cause it to crash and just go straight to desktop, and you have to start it up with DirectX 9, and you can't use any DirectX, so you can't really like enjoy the environments. I thought it was a good story. The combat was unique. I liked that they added new enemies. The filming instead of taking pictures was interesting. I haven't tried the multiplayer because I'm 5 years too late on that. So yeah, whatever. The game like BioShock, I'm not focused on the multiplayer as much as I am with the single player. I think it's a good game. I think it's out of the three, it's on the bottom, but that's also because BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite I thought were just incredible. And I had with BioShock 1 and Infinite, I had a sense of I don't want to put this down. With BioShock 2, I was more inclined to put it down. It's like, all right, I think this is a good spot.
Well, I think the distinction between the 1 and 2 are similar. If that's a good way to put it. Like there's a definite tonal shift in like it feels like a different. While being connected, it is definitely a different type of game.
Yeah.
So I have some information. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, but
so look up Steve Gaynor.
Yes, but Steve Gaynor I don't believe had anything to do with Minerva's Den.
So I'm reading from Gaynor or from the Fulbright Company's Wikipedia.
They put something in Gone Home that ties it to Minerva's Den, but it's not.
So Steve Gaynor was the lead designer of the game's single player expansion Minerva's Den in 2010. Also looks like the 2D artist and one of the writers. They left and formed the Fulbright Company, which their first game is Gone Home.
Okay.
Oh gosh. All right, we'll see. I'm not gonna judge it yet. I wasn't a fan of Gone Home, but that's okay. I'm not going to take that out on Minerva's Den just yet.
So speaking of which, Tacoma's coming out soon, so we'll see. I think we'll see if you like that one
Tacoma is the sci-fi one.
Yeah, you're on a kind of a spaceship, and it's kind of the same mechanics as Gone Home.
It does look a little more interesting to me. I just have no interest in playing Gone Home. I understand it's fantastic and everything, but Tacoma is a little more. Well, excuse me. It is considered by many people to be excellent. I have heard from multiple people it is good. I've also heard bad things about it.
Yes.
Questions of whether it's a game, so on and so forth. But
that's a deep philosophical topic for another day.
Yeah. I mean, it's playable, so I consider it a game. But whatever you want to.
Like I look at
Tacoma looks like my style. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, like if we wanted to have that debate real quick, which I have a feeling we won't, because it's gonna be like the Bloodborne Witcher 3 debate. It's like to say what's a game and what's not is a little bit subjective, because like I kind of look at it in the same way I'd look at an automatic level on Mario Maker. Like I'm at least like I'll say it's a game in that I'm at least able to move around in the environment. I'm able to control like what to do and what not. Like, and I consider that a game. I never played Dear Esther, so I can't say anything about that or against that.
So I'm gonna interject in that I don't think classifying things as games or not games is particularly even interesting.
Yeah.
Like even so, like I do think there are games, but let's say I concede the point. All right, it's not a game. Now what? How are we?
No, where? We're the exact same party.
We're the exact like. Okay, I'm like
the terrorists win. That's what happens.
Yeah, I guess. Like what? Yeah. What do we do? Do we take it off Steam?
It's
or,
yeah,
what?
No.
it solves nothing, and so like
Right.
what would
I don't-
happen? It
it's
won't
not-
be
it's not
nominated
even
for
big.
Game of the Year. Oh no, it's 2015, and that's already passed. So
Or even like who? Yeah.
Yeah,
it's not like
there's-
like somebody from what do you say it's called Fulbright.
Guys, is Night Trap a game?
It technically isn't. I don't know, but it's like
To
it's not
be
like somebody
honest,
from like
it's
Fulbright is going to EA.
softcore.
And like they're going to EA and going, oh, I made Gone Home. That's not a game.
Right. Yeah. Or suddenly EA explodes.
Yeah. Gosh,
What?
EA's
Nope.
getting a lot of
You
flack
know,
as
that
well
would be
for
so horrible.
EA's
Back it
getting a
up.
lot of
They've
flack for
killed
Battlefront.
games, guys. They've killed games.
What? We're getting a lot of flack.
No, EA's getting a lot of flack from Battlefront.
That's kind of what I've heard. Is that
Mm-hmm.
it's super short, and then you play for a while, and you're kind of like, eh.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah.
I could have told you that.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
looks
we
really good.
said it in the beta. We said it when the beta came out. It's like, this is okay. Like it's beautiful, but there's no.
Speaking of, did you see the guy who put that one filter that makes the game run at like 5
Yes.
frames per second, but it looks like the movie?
No.
Oh,
No. It's pretty bad, but at the same time, it's kind of cool. It's just
it looks really good. Like it looks like, oh my god, there's an actual like AT-AT and those like Luke Skywalker is fighting it.
Speaking of movies, I caught up on the Hunger Games finally. Like I never watched any of the Hunger Games. It wasn't that bad. Also, I saw
know-
Creed. Creed was incredible.
No,
So-
I've heard that one is good.
You wanna hear something funny about the Hunger Games that I?
All
Oh
right.
boy, here we go. Okay, Burf.
So this
I'll
was
give you the
pre.
floor.
This was just when the movies were coming out, and I decided to do the rum games. And a couple of people still have this. I have since taken it off the internet. It's where I had a bottle of rum, and I had the Hunger Games, and I was just all right. One of these is going to be finished.
The rum was finished.
So I recorded myself my thoughts after each chapter. I'll have to share it at some point. It goes way downhill after chapter 13.
Are you talking about the original Hunger Games?
Yeah,
book?
the first one.
Okay.
I have read the original one, and I did not like it either.
Well, the thing, my thing is that this is not a book for me. This is a book for someone who is between the ages of like 12 and 16.
Yeah. The only reason I watched it is because my girlfriend's like, "Oh, we should marathon the movies before we go watch Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 2," and it's like,
And
okay.
let's be completely honest here for a second too about those movies. Those movies are actually really well shot movies.
Yes.
They are really well shot movies. I don't particularly like the content of the movies, except for the third one. I actually really enjoyed for some reason. I'm still not really sure why I really like that movie. I think it's because it talks a lot about propaganda, and I think
Yeah.
that's really interesting. But regardless, I just think those movies are really well shot,
Yeah.
and they bring something to life really well. So
Like the
Yeah.
last one, like it just gets so dark, and there's a clip in there. Like I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's at least one scene where she meets the president in like a garden, and he has like a bunch of white roses, and he goes, "I like white. White is perfection." And I just wanted to make a joke so bad. Like my girlfriend and I are laughing because we know we can immediately just make the joke. But then, like, everybody else in the theater is just going to think, like, why is he laughing at this?
Oh
no,
boy.
I think if you started laughing, then everyone would have probably started laughing.
I think that someone. I think the author was like, "Man, this metaphor is so deep."
Yeah. and
Uh,
but it does get dark. It does get dark. And there's another scene that, like, it's actually a spoiler, but, like, I'm not going to say, but... Oh man!
Okay.
Like when I'll tell you guys after the show if you guys are actually interested. But
I
all right,
want to watch it, so
Okay.
probably
just text me when you watch it, and then
Okay.
or when you're
I
done
will.
watching it. Okay, so final topic of the day: Blizzard has now come out and said that Overwatch DLC will actually be coming out as free updates and not paid DLC. and they're saying with the new characters and stuff, it will just come out as just a free update. So guys, is this selling you a little bit more on Overwatch, or what? Curtis, are you having a seizure, or are you actually really excited about this?
No, I am really excited about this, but what they said is character and map will not be DLC. Is what they said. We're still gonna have skins, and that's gonna be DLC, and we're gonna have to pay for it.
But who called this?
Us.
Did you call this?
No, we
Us
no,
as
we
a
didn't.
show.
Did we really? Oh, jeez.
Did we?
Yes.
Wow.
We said that it was
We
going to
did.
be.
All right.
We
Go
said
on.
as a show, we said
I'm-
it's probably going to be
I'm-
skins, but everything else will be free. Granted, I think we also said the game was going to be free, but we weren't really certain on that. But let's face
Right.
it, we called all of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, wow. I called it, and I'm surprised.
It's
Oh
a smart
man.
move. It's a
It is.
brilliant move. Yeah, it's $40 for the game without all the extra crud that you can get.
Mhm.
That's completely legitimate, in my opinion. Give me the game. You're going to release content over time. There's going to be new characters. There's going to be new, stuff. I pay for cosmetics. You know what? That's fine. I am totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might actually try it. $40, like,
Yeah.
That's
Like-
And
worth
it's
the
like,
reason.
but let's
Right, and
let's
maybe-
see the $20 extra. What do you get? You get all the characters. You get a card back. You get the tracer on Heroes of the Storm. You get an item for Diablo. What else am I missing?
You get a player portrait for StarCraft. You get a did we already say you said hero for?
I
Heroes
said
of the Storm,
tracer
right?
and Heroes of the Storm.
And then you get a pet for World of Warcraft.
like,
And you get all the
I might-
characters.
it
You
would-
said. We said correct.
You get
Yeah.
all the characters, 5 skins.
like I might pick this up for like used at GameStop for $30 for like PS4. Like,
Yeah,
why
Yeah.
not?
I mean, yeah.
it seems interesting. I'm interested. I'm much more interested now that I know I'm not going to have to spend X amount of
Yeah.
dollars. I mean, if the skin prices are reasonable, yeah, I'll buy some skins for give me $5 skins. Yeah, I'll buy like 10 of those.
Like, isn't it crazy how like they've moved the goalpost, guys? Like the fact that the DLC, like everything, like the things that you pay for are in the game, and we're excited about it.
Well, let's hold on for a second.
Yes.
This is also a big FU to every company that has ever charged for maps or characters.
Call of Duty. So, I'm sorry. I
Or
completely.
Evolve, or
Right.
how many other games have charged DLC prices for new characters and maps? And here's a company just saying, "Hey, you know what? You know that stuff you hate? We're not going to give it to you. You want
Speaking
some
of
skins?
Evolve, I think we called Evolve as well.
We did call Evolve as being we're not going to get into that.
Yeah. No. Let's gloat for just a second because I don't get to
To
do
be
it
fair-
often. We
To
were
be
wrong about the
fair,
first
I played
month.
the beta. I played the beta, but we did call that it would pretty much be dead by the end of the year.
Yeah. And like it fell hard. Like, oh
Yeah.
good lord.
I mean, to be fair, the big monsters that they had at like PAX and all the trade shows were really cool. Like the big giant ones, like
Yeah.
the sculptures.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's not going to sell me a game.
Yeah.
One of the monsters was OP, and it was one of the ones that you got for pre-ordering. It was really OP, and it was ridiculously difficult to.
Speaking of competitive esport, have you guys heard of a game called Armada?
I have not.
Maybe.
The one that you run a battle cruiser. Is
Yeah, like, that was supposed to be coming out soon, wasn't it? Maybe I don't know. I'm dragging this way off of Overwatch.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Are you sure it's called Armada?
Maybe. Let me.
I know which one you're talking about, but
It's from the guys who did Grey Goo.
I'm gonna
Excuse me.
because that might be easier. To...
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find the.
All right. I'm just gonna talk while we fill time. But yes, I'm
Well,
excited for
guys.
Overwatch. It
Yes.
looks incredible. I remember I might have already said this on the show. I remember when I was in LA at the Overkill party that like one of the this guy just randomly started talking to me at the bar and I'm like, oh, what do you do? And he goes, I'm a developer over at Blizzard. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Which game? Overwatch. I'm so excited for that, and like immediately I just looked so unprofessional. And it's like,
I don't think
anytime
that's really
I like
professional.
look like I interviewed 2 members of my favorite band, and I kept my composure. I talked to just the developer of Overwatch, and I lost my mind for like a half second. Like, that should put in comparison. Now, I really hope that Rick Jacket or James Black are not listening right now, because I don't want them to think otherwise, that I don't love them, because I do, and they're really nice people. But it was just the fact that, like, I didn't, like, for a brief second, I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't think it's by Petroglyph.
Yeah, I'm trying to. All right, hold on. I will find this thing.
Basically, there is this game where you fly giant battle cruisers in space and you shoot at each other. It looks really cool, kind of like Eve, except for you actually control the ship. I'm going to be mean. And to all you Eve players, I understand you fly the ship. It looks really pretty, etc., etc., etc. There was actually another multiplayer game I was going to talk about that just came out on PC, and I'm looking forward to it. I heard good things. Helldivers. Have you guys heard?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard
That's
of it.
Helldivers? It's the people who made Magicka, and it is a kind of a space squadron game where you have 4 players, and their friendly fire is always on. It is top down, very Diablo style, but apparently, like, when you complete a mission, you feel incredibly accomplished.
Did you guys get Warhammer Vermintide, or AKA Left 4 Dead? Rat Edition?
Yeah, I already own Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
I've heard it is pretty good. I have not played it myself, though.
Yeah. All right.
I watched the Giant Bomb quick look, and it seems fine.
All right.
Yeah,
Cool.
I am looking for other games at the moment, but
Yeah.
you know.
Alrighty. Cool beans. Alright. That will be it for today's show. Thank you guys very much for watching, whether you're watching us on YouTube, listening to us on podcast, or watching us live on twitch.tv/KBHSpike. You can, thank you for making us a part of your day. Check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/thatnewshow. You can follow me on Twitter @ChaseBunker. You can follow Murph on Twitter @DorkNightShow, which new episodes come up every Monday. You can also follow our the show's Twitter page at twitter.com/that_game_show. Other than that, check out all the interviews that I've done on YouTube as well, youtube.com/thatnewshow. Check out Murph's YouTube page with his friend Mike, with Mike and Murph Play. They just finished Sonic Month, and he actually liked a Sonic game, which is weird.
I did. No, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, I know. Like, was it Gone Home Sonic Edition? No, we actually answered that question.
Sonic finds like a chili dog and remembers like,
It's Sonic
I remember the day
Dreams.
Amy died.
It's Sonic Dreams. That's what it is.
Oh, we didn't quite do the Sonic Dreams. We should have.
Oh my! Please don't do something. I watched Game Grumps do that, and I was just like, "What am I watching?"
Mike hasn't played it, so I'm gonna spring it on him. At some point.
Gosh! Oh good lord! Okay. Other than that, Curtis, did I forget anything?
I can't think of anything.
Murph, did I forget anything? Can we make fun of Clegg real quick since he's not here to defend himself?
He wears glasses. That should be enough.
StarCraft sucks.
Likes fancy things. I don't think that's really an insult towards Clegg.
Yeah.
You'd have to go a little more, dig it a little bit deeper. We could say something like Nintendo sucks, and that should pretty.
We
much.
could,
Yeah,
or like
good enough.
All right, I'm gonna go play some Xenoblade.
All right, cool. Thank you guys very much for watching. For Curtis Coe and Murph Murphy, I'm Chase Bunker. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you guys next time. And
Night.
have fun watching Star Wars, probably, if we don't talk to you then.
Oh boy.
Bye-bye.